Hello, this video is not sponsored. I bought this Mattel Brick Shop 1990 Acura NSX model by pre-ordering it directly from the Mattel website for $50 US, 50. This one has 876 pieces and it is 1/16th scale. It does come with a 1/64th scale Hot Wheels car as well. And this is a relatively basic one with a plastic chassis, and it is stamped 2014 for the design series. In terms of scale and size, there's the larger Mattel car, and then here is a dusty old 1/18th scale die-cast car. This one might be a little bit oversized, I think, for what it's supposed to be. Manufacturers vary a little bit, unfortunately. 18th scale doesn't always literally mean 18th scale, but it's pretty close and should just give you a general idea of what we're dealing with here. The overall build experience for this was good for me. I like the level of interior detail, and I ultimately like what the thing looks like on the outside. However, it did have an interesting, odd kind of arc to the speed of everything coming together. All of the build of everything up to the level of the shoulders just felt pretty well paced, inside and out, for finishing details, as well as some of the interior smaller, finer bits, as well as the working steering. Like, all that just felt like it was going at a certain pace. And then right at the end, you add in the windscreen piece, which is printed here to get the color along the edge. And then you add in the basically from the B pillar to the base of the rear windowsill and the window itself. And that just basically finishes the entire car. So you build this and it felt normal. And then all this stuff up here is relatively specialized pieces. I know a lot of people have a very, very strong distaste for that approach, but ultimately it is a valid choice for designers to use, who want to make something that looks good, to want to make something that looks proper, that looks like close to a model, close to a scale model. That is the intent here. A lot of people who are like Lego purists are very much against that. What's the point? Why don't you just get a scale model? Well, first of all, a scale model, have you ever tried building one? It's not like this. It's a completely different experience. It can take days, weeks, potentially even months to get one of those things done. You need all sorts of skills. You need paint, you need glue, you need tools of various sorts. All right. We can't compare something like this to building a scale model kit. However, this ultimately is something that is approachable to the every person who can just put this together and end up with something that is a built experience and yet looks close to the aesthetics of a scale model. I think it's a valid thing to exist. In terms of features, this does have pop-up headlights that you can actually pop up, and you just got to get your fingernail under that. I think you can actually do it from the back a little bit. Yeah, you can push it down. Yeah, it's nice that was actually built up. I appreciate that they made more molds to make that happen. They do give you an option for a Honda badge instead, and they also have instructions available online or through the app to do a right-hand drive version of this. I just did it during using the default left-hand drive for the Acura styled version of it. I don't like these side view mirrors. I don't like them at all, because you can see the silver color around the side and around the top as well. That is not cool. It breaks my immersion a little bit too much. That's a piece that I personally have not seen before from many companies, specifically that shape. It's the 1x2 inverted half thickness tile. And it's coated with a nice bright silver coating on it. It's a little bit reflective, kind of like these wheels are, but just the fact that is visible completely from the side and from the top, that silver stripe there, is not good. Also, this piece right here, I'm not sure if it's the bar portion or the hole portion, but there is a loose area. It's not a round hole, or either the hole or the bar is not round. So there's one spot where it gets more friction, and then when you get it a little bit just up a little bit, then it loosens up and it comes out a little bit too easily. So that was a poor design choice there, and just how that went together. I know they don't want pieces to get permanently stuck together, but this just definitely could have been better. Prints everywhere. You'll notice all around. The opacity of the black print here, obviously you got the red piece in there, you got the clear as well. The black that's printed on the outside of this is good, but then you do see a little bit of the red inside, and more importantly, you see it around the back, the side and the back. So I don't like to see that. Now, if you treat these things as exactly what they are, which is just cheap plastic things to look at, very, very cheap plastic things to look at, you can just take a Sharpie marker or an acrylic marker to the inside of that and just put black in it, and then you're done. But obviously this is the way that it actually comes out of the package, the way that's built by default. So I've got to call out what I consider to be a bit of a flaw right there. Of course, the doors are able to open. The interior is built up nicely. You can see the side bolsters in here. There's print down there at the sill. The steering, again, is actually connected up, and that works pretty well with a pretty good turn radius on it. You've got the print up here, multiple prints for the center console stack as well. And then gear shift lever, there's another print back behind there in the tunnel. Not that it really has a tunnel, but the equivalent of the tunnel space, and a suggestion of the e-brake as well. I think the seats are built up pretty nicely. Like I liked putting those together, and I also appreciate the fact that this is done with a very dark gray color all throughout, rather than sticking with black or switching to a lighter dark gray color, more traditional dark gray color. So this is a very, very dark gray that looks very good to me. Closing the doors. Okay, I'm gonna have to lock the camera in place. Closing the doors, sometimes I have to kind of massage that around just a little bit just to get it past the corner right there. It's just something that I have encountered a number of times, opening and closing it. I love that intake right there. It's a very simple technique how it went together, but I love the look of it, the cooling intake there. And then back here, you are able to open up the window that covers the engine, and the engine is nice. It looks good. It's another genuine build. I was warned multiple times before I built this and while I was building it live that the engine does not fit in the engine compartment. I found that to be patently false. Thank goodness it fits just fine. I enjoy putting that together. It does have some small pieces. One of the assemblies is of the heads feels a little bit lacking in security and how secure it is. I think one of them just has a single stud attaching it, but it's really not a problem. I'm ultimately just good and fine with this. I did also hear that the print right here might be installed backwards, but this is the way it's shown in the instructions. And looking at pictures of the real cars, a lot of them have it installed this way. Some of them have it where it's readable directly from the back. Some of them have it where it's readable from the front. I did not go into researching exactly why that is or under what circumstances that occurs, or if it's simply a part that is reversible. I just didn't look into it myself, but it is perfectly valid to put it this way, 100% valid to put it this way based on pictures of the real thing. And if you want it the other way, it is perfectly valid to swap it around as well. It's just a tile. You can just flip it. Speaking of flipping, here's what the thing looks like from the underside. You do have a rather large opening here, and unfortunately, you are able to see some light through there. I think that they could have blocked that off. Even if there is a little bit of area where you could see through there, and on the real thing, I think it still would have been better to just put a plate down there or something just to block that partially. And my side view mirror just fell out, but this is a die-cast piece that you'll see on most of the cars that can also be taken off and used as a keychain if you want. One thing that I did not like here about the tires is that all the tires are the same. They're directional, but they didn't give you two versions of it. It's 4 of the exact same tire. Here's the alternate full option build where I've swapped out the wheels, the stock wheels, for the Volks TE37s. And I put this light bar on, which is inspired by one season's JGTC pace car for Motegi circuit. Also swap out the license plate on the back. So that is an alternate print. And I also put one sticker on here for this visor. Put this visor sticker on because I wanted to just see what their sticker quality was like. And if they went edge to edge, they do indeed go edge to edge. And it's a little bit thicker than I personally would like, a little bit less forgiving, a little bit less give in the material itself. But they give you some option stickers here, including some sponsors that you can put in different places if you so choose. And they show you some in the instructions and on the box some ways that could make things look. I can do the pace car thing as well if you want. And then if you want to make it into a Honda, again, you can download the instructions online for the alternate, just mirrored build. All the parts are here. And then they also have these Honda prints to swap out at the front and the back. Here's just the original license plate that I took off. And they also give you a T-tops off option for this in the form of just 2 extra 1x2 tiles. So you can just fill that little space right in there and have the semi open air kind of look to it, which, is a choice as well. A valid choice, but of course that's going to let more dust get in there. Just a little bit more. It's not my favorite look. My favorite look for this will probably be to leave the TE37s on, not run the light bar though. Do leave the visor sticker on. That can actually be removed because it's just a sticker. Most of the time stickers can be removed for a very, very long time, as long as they're not really, really bad quality. But I'm going to put the original roof back on and just run that smooth like that. This is my personal look, my personal choice for this car. Again, I paid $50 US for this off of the Mattel Brickshop website or Mattel Creations website. I don't control production or distribution, so I can't help with reprints. I don't know when they intend to reprint. They've already reprinted the 300 SL and made that available on Amazon. I've seen it at other retailers as well. As of the recording of this video, I've not seen this one come back in stock just yet, but hopefully it will pretty soon, because definitely a lot of people like this. It was very, very clear the way that Mattel did this initial release that they were trying to gather data on market segmentation, just what people wanted to pay, what types of builds they wanted, what types of sizes and everything. And then they were going to use that data to inform future product decisions and, price ranges and stuff like that. So a little bit of patience is probably called for here. I definitely very strongly recommend against supporting the scalper market. This is an inexpensive thing. It just came out relatively recently. I just don't recommend going to the aftermarket to buy up one of these things. It just doesn't make sense to me personally. Again, this is a cheap plastic thing. It's a very nice cheap plastic thing. I forgot to mention that the wheels here are also die-cast metal, just like the little plaque underneath, and the body, the top of the body of the little die-cast small car off to the side, plastic chassis underneath. But I think this is good. And again, with decent lighting here, with somewhat natural lighting, I think that it ultimately looks very good. I'm happy with it. I'm proud to have it. Especially, ironically, I'm not that big on interiors. I don't care about them that much. But on this, I definitely like the interior, and I like the engine that I'm able to see. I also like the swap of the wheels here. Maybe could have done something a little bit better just behind there. The inside wheel piece, as well as the tires, could have been mirrored side to side. And then I like how the pop-up headlights actually pop up. And then the shaping of the front is good. The shaping of the back is good. I forgot to mention, I did mention this while I was building it live on Twitch, but when they do these cars in this line here for Mattel Brickshop in the Hot Wheels line, the car is not based on the real car. The car is based on the Hot Wheels car. So it's always from real life to this. The designers of the 64th scale diecast changed things up with their own style. So they'll change proportions very slightly to just make things look more toy-like, or to just kind of fit what feels right to them. And then when these designers make the brick versions, they are using the toy, the original toy, as their primary inspiration. Now they can also, they are artists. They are able to reach out to other inspiration, obviously with that light bar and everything, so they are able to add their own new spins and new interpretations here. But I just kind of wanted to cover very briefly just how things go. So this is not marketed specifically as a perfect replica of an actual NSX. Just the way that it works, there's art behind it, which I do respect. I personally like direct replicas, but I think this thing does look nice. And even though its proportions are not perfect, I think they're pretty good. It looks like an NSX. I've seen a lot of people saying, I wish that this part of the wing was black like it is on this version of the toy there. That's a valid thing to ask for. Definitely a valid thing to ask for, and would have been really easy for the designers to, or for the company to include just some alternate pieces for that. And they didn't. I'm personally fine with it, but it's valid to ask for that and to say, hey, that's something that they could have done. But that's it for my look at this one. Thank you for watching. I hope that I've covered everything here. If I didn't, look for a pinned comment. I always try to use pinned comments to respond to anything that might have been confusing or anything that I might have left out in a video. Obviously, you can't edit a YouTube video after it's done. A lot of people don't understand that. I can't go back and just change one small thing, but I try to do my best. First time around on, well, very, very little sleep and working as hard as I can, as fast as I can to bring you as much content as I can. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for your grace and your understanding and for your support. I'll talk to you again soon.